Good morning, everyone. It's Chris from Axel as well as Solstice. You can find us on both websites. I'm going to go over what the market can offer us. Remember, sometimes you have to protect your capital. If you are using cash, that's fine. But if you're in a margin, you don't want to be liquidated like Leo. That happened this week because he was using the algorithm and they caught him with his pants down. So the most important thing is the economy and the market. Are we in a recession or coming into a crash? The most important thing is understanding the domestic as well as the global, the earnings as well as inflation, what's going on in the global markets in the Middle East between Iran and US and crude oil. The volatility has opened up very widely and understanding the risk. So remember the market, think of it as a stool or three-legged chair. The market can go up, the market can go down or go sideways because they are undecided till we get somewhere. So we have to look at the micros, which is the overall market part of the S&P 500, the Nasdaq, the Russell, or the international markets. The fundamentals in the stock market. So you have to understand the fundamentals, breaking the sectors, and using the technicals to help you decide whether you should be long or you should be short. Without one of these legs, basically the market is unstable and you can get hurt if you don't understand the risk involved. Let's go to the next slide. And what I did here, I put the S&P 500 as well as the Nasdaq, the simple moving average, the difference which are above 50 and which are below 50. Every time we go to an extreme at the top, we usually reset back down. And every time we get to the bottom, we usually reset back to the top. And it's vice versa when the Nasdaq is leading and when the S&P is leading. Right now, the Nasdaq is a little bit overextended and trying to, recover. Is there a change in the trend after hitting that peak up here? So I kind of gave the 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022. You can see it 23, 24, and 25. And now we're in 26. Every time we bottomed or peaked, we had a reversal in the overall market. And this is why I wanted to use this just to help you out understand the risk. Number two, you can find us on Excel. This is the website. The services we provide either to raise capital or manage capital. At the same time, we are in the private sector for institutional players, not the individual investors, but if you want to learn a little bit more about trading and understanding the risk and joining our group, you can go to Solstice. We have an algorithm platform where eventually we're going to have an open API. So if you're going to access us and want to get in contact with us to learn how to trade technically and understand, you can hit the join button, or if you go down all the way to the bottom, there's a free service available that you can log in because this is the services we provide right now. We're going to have another one up there. If you want to join the Discord family, because we are live trading in the room, you can join that service and come in and ask us any question. But remember, this is not for anyone under 18. You have to verify your information with us as well as Discord in order to join the group. So let's go to the first slide that I have up here. We can get out of here. And you can find us as well as on YouTube, as well as X. If I put X, this is us on X. We usually put one day a tweet in the morning, what I am thinking about, where the overall market is and what we're going to be looking for. So that's on X. And if I do as well, youtube.com, you can actually find us under Chrissy Farah. You have to use the letter I, not Chris, Chrissy Farah Trading. And I'll show you the login for us. If you click here, it's going to show you Chrissy Farah 6177. And you can look at the videos that we do on a weekly basis for an overall market. Let's go to the first slide I have up here, and I put the SPX. I'm going to use the SPY for the electronically traded fund. But what I wanted to do is show you from last year in 20, when we bottomed down here and we rallied up, and that was the high for the year. We've been in consolidation. We looked up here. If you can see We looked up, we failed. We looked up, we failed. We looked up, we failed. This is a double top. We are in range. You can see the S&P still in that box, having been able to get out of its own way. If the sentiment has to be changing in the sectors in the S&P, which are the 11 sectors, including the financial, you can see the RSI divergence. It is above 50, climbing towards the 60 and 80%, and vice versa, coming between the 38 to the 20%. We use the RSI to keep us in line if the momentum is changing. And I do have a 50 simple moving average on this candle where we closed above the 50 and above the 18 if there's going to be continuation change in trend, or do we reset back down towards the F5 and continue higher? But if we end up losing it and losing F3 and coming back down, sentiment changes. If we break up, we take the Friday's candle high and continue higher, that would be great. So we're going to trade what the charts offer us, not what we think. I'm going to use the SPY here, and I'm going to show you here the SPY on the daily. You can see that downtrend channel. We just finally broke above it very little bit, but I'm going to do the weekly. I'm going to go time frame. Instead of 1 year, we're going to do 10 years, and we're going to go to the weekly chart. And I wanted to compress this to kind of give you an overall view. This was the February, March low in 2020 when COVID hit. This is the 2022 dump till October. Then the rally back up. We consolidated. It took us a year in 2024 to recover 100% of that move. If I zoom in here, you can see it. And eventually we looked down in January, continued higher. We retested this area on that linear regression channel that I showed you, cleared the 116 SMA and the 50 and has been holding up. We are holding on the weekly, the 18 SMA. It does not mean that the market is falling apart. The S&P is still in continuation. This is why I wanted to show you this on the weekly chart. Let's go back to the daily. And from here on the daily, how do I look at this and understand the risk? We had, this is the Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, and Monday. We cleared the Monday and we cleared the 50. Is there going to be continuation to the upside or downside? So what I'm going to do, show you a simple way. Instead of using a regular Fibonacci, we can take the weekly high and the weekly low, like here. And I know the extensions to the upside, what they are. I'm using units of 20, 25, 50, 180, and 200, and vice versa, 0, minus 20, 25, 50, minus 60, 61, 80, and 100 instead of a regular fib. This will give me an overall if we're going to push higher or push lower, just understanding where the levels are in the S&P 500. Let's take a look at right now the NASDAQ. It's a little different picture on the NASDAQ. We're going to use the QQQ. And I'll go back to the NDX. You can see I have a lot of lines, and you can see where that area I had marked it before the prior year. I left the Fibonacci's on, so we can see this island reversal here. There's this island reversal, which we filled, and we continued higher. We retested it here, but what I wanted to show you, we were creating lower highs in the NASDAQ. You can see I have these two linear regression. These are just drawings that I do. And we tested it, but we are underneath the 18 SMA and the 50 SMA. If I take the high and low, you can see the Fibonacci showing me from the high of here down to here. That's the lows. I'm holding the 116, the 200 SMA here, which will catch up with that linear regression channel, either one of these two, if the momentum going to shift and fall back in. That was a gap here that we originally filled, and this was a gap we filled and pushed above. But in order to run, we have this island reversal up here, that we have this gap up here. Is it going to fill to continue to clear the 18, the downtrend channel, as well as the one I drew on the top? So this is very important. Or do we reset back down to continue higher? So this is on the QQQ. I'm not going to do any measurements, but I wanted to show it to you this way. Let's take a look at the semiconductor. Before I do that, I'm going to show you VUG. This is the Vanguard Morningstar Growth Fund. We can see in the Morningstar Growth Fund that this double bottom here in the 116 SMA held, but we closed on the 38.2 and underneath the 18 SMA. The 50 is right above. If there's going to be continuation, we filled this gap. You can see that this gap is filled. Are we going to continue to go up or are we going to fall back in? We have to pay attention to that downtrend channel. If I do draw a downtrend channel on the RSI from the each peak to this, you can see it. There's one here. And if I do one from here to here, I'm just going to show you, we just tested it and we're above the 50 on the NASDAQ VUG, sorry, remove the drawing. So you can see that there is a small breakout on the top and we are pushing higher, but we have a lower high here in the RSI. If there's going to be continuation, I'm paying attention to the 50 and the average of the momentum in VUG. Let's take a look at that. Instead of using just a regular VUG, I'm going to use VTV. This is basically the Morningstar Value Fund. In the Morningstar Value Fund under Vanguard, we double top, we looked up, we fell back in. We are holding the 18 SMA and we are holding that downtrend channel that we broke out of. If I draw a linear regression downtrend channel here, you can see that we are holding it. We tested it twice and broke up. If there's going to be continuation, I'm paying attention to that 18 and the backside of this channel here in the 50 SMA if it holds, if there's going to be in the value play continuation or not. So let's take a look at the semiconductor SMH. I'm doing it a little bit differently here, and you can see where those gaps from the semiconductor, where we had this breakout here, this island reversal, we broke up, continue. We had this small island, we tested it, rallied up. You can see there was a small gap in here. I marked it. We looked underneath it. We tested the 116 SMA and bounced back up. We are underneath the 18 SMA because we are in that downtrend channel and we're trying to climb. If we're going to break out, we're looking for F3, F5, F6, and eventually the 50 SMA. Or do we come back down here and continue up? We've got to pay attention to the 536 in SMH. Let's take a look at the XLK, the tech sector. And we can see in the tech sector, we are in a similar situation. If I do zoom in here, we do have these island reversals, which we never retested, except if I put my mouse here, you can see we still have the island that never filled. I'm going to activate it. You can see it, okay? I'm going to show you. I'm going to activate it. Let's do it again. Hold on. We're going to get rid of it. We're going to activate it, remove the drawing. We're going to go get an oval like I did earlier. We're going to grab the top of this peak of this candle to this one here. There is still a gap in the profile on XLK. If we fall back in, do we hold the 5 SMA and the 18X as resistance, or do we kind of create a rounded bottom for a cup, hold the 171, push back up, clear F3, clear F5, and get to the 50 SMA and eventually the 61 for the momentum to change in the tech sector? And you can see the RSI still underneath the 50. You have to pay attention to it. Let's take a look at IGV. IGV, you can see that IGV after, we were in this area here and we called the push up, we fell back down. We are holding this area, but is there going to be continuation clearing the 200 SMA, holding the 50 and the 18 for a continuation, or is it going to create a rounded bottom like a shoulder to push up towards F6 and eventually clear this candle and this one that brought us down? So this is an IGV. And I'm going to show you the Magnificent 7 MAGS. I usually don't use mags, but I use the ones I put together, including Netflix. And you can see in the MAG 7, there's rotation. You can see that island reversal. We fell down. That's created an island. When we pushed up, there's an island between here and here. You can see it, that there is a gap between these two candles and this one. If we're going to fall back down, we're going to pay attention that we fill this gap here. If there's going to be continuation, do we fill this gap between here and here? I'm going to extend it to the right, edit the property, extend it to the right. I'm going to show you how to do this. Very simple. That way you can see the levels. You can see where that is, and I can extend this one, edit the property, extend it to the right. At least everyone can see where those levels are in case there's going to be continuation in the MAG 7. Let's do the one I have here. I have included here Apple, Amazon, Google, Alphabet, A and B, Meta, Microsoft, NVDA, Tesla, and Netflix. You can see after the island reversal down, some of the momentum has shifted back up and the RSI is just slightly above the 50. Let's undo this. I'm going to talk about AAPL. You can see on the earning report, Apple fell down. It's underneath the 50 simple moving average. Does it consolidate here to fill the gap, or does it fall below the 50, coming back towards the 116 SMA to catch itself back in this area? So this is Apple. Let's take a look at Amazon. Amazon did very well and they are spending their money correctly and they are in the growth phase. You can see that push up. If there's going to be consolidation in here and does not fill the gap, and I am holding the uptrend channel, I can do an uptrend channel to show you how to do this correctly. You can grab the bottom of this wave and this one here because we are in that linear regression uptrend channel. You can see it. If I do a pitchfork, there's one, if I duplicate this one, I'm going to show you, I'm going to do a duplication and I'm going to grab this duplication and grab it, put it in the middle of this range. If this holds that 50 or the 38.2 FIB coming in, bouncing up and continuing, that would be a great trade in Amazon. Let's take a look at Google now. I'm not going to do Google and Google. This is after the earning report on Google. You can see that flush down, the recovery. If Google cannot clear the 50 SMA, I always have liked the 358.65 myself every time we pushed, took the trade, and eventually we liquidated. And you can see here it fell down on the earning, came back up to this area, has resistance. Does the 18 SMA and 50% of this candle hold the F3 and the price action? This is a point of control, clear and push above the 15, push above the 50 SMA. This is the simple moving average, and the 50 Fibonacci towards the 61 and that virgin control point. If it falls through, then things are happening. You can see this island reversal between these two candles. I'm not going to mark it, but at least you are aware of it. Or you can just put a little oval between these two candles and see where these levels are. Edit the property, push it into the right. At least everyone can see it. And that's the level you have to hold in Google. Let's take a look at right now the Asian, which is South Korea, EWY. I want to show this because of the earning reports that are happening. We were consolidating. You can see we fell underneath that area. You can see it. We tested that area. This was a lot of consolidation building up the rally. We fell underneath and we are sitting right in here. If there's going to be continuation, do we clear the 18 and the 116 to continue higher, or do we fall back down? Now I'm paying attention to this consolidation in this area on the charts. If the area does hold because we are in that downtrend, or do we create a rounded bottom and push up towards F3 and eventually F5 and the 50 SMA will catch up, or do we fall back down towards the 200 SMA? Let's take a look at the EWT. EWT, this is the Taiwanese TSM, this in the tech sector semiconductor. You can see that we pushed up. We got this little island reversal here. We are above the 5, but the 18 is here in that downtrend channel in F3. If there's going to be momentum, push up. If it's going to create a rounded bottom, hold, that's great. If it falls down, it falls down. So let's now take a look at Microsoft. I did not show you Microsoft. I made a mistake on this one. After the earning, they did very well. Microsoft. And you can see that on Microsoft report, you got that big push and continuation, even if it creates a halfway move here, because this is the island. You can see between here and here, there's a gap. You can actually mark it on the chart and just do this like that. Kind of gives you an overall view. If that 50% of this candle holds in that gap, if it creates a round bottom and push higher, that would be great. But if we clear that double top, momentum shifts higher, the island reversal will never fill back, and that 200 SMA will hold. Let's take a look at micro ES, and I'll show you how to do the measurements on it. I'm going to use this with the monkey bars to show you why I am showing you this. We can see that we have a lot of consolidation and a lot of lines here. I'm going to go for style. In the style, you can see in here, you said standard. I'm going to show you the monkey bars. Here, this is a 3-month annual chart. I use the 3-month. Each month shows you where the high is, where the low is on value area low, value area high, and point of control. You can see here I have marked the value high, value low in green, point of control where it is in relationship to this month high and low on the charts on the monkey bars. Where did we close on Friday? So if I look at this, this tells me where I closed right in this area. I'm below my point of control, but I'm above the value area low where most volume happened in the profile. If there's going to be continuation, that would be great. And if not, that's okay. So I'm going to go here in the style setting. You can see it. Instead of the daily, I can go here on the monkey bars. The daily, I can switch it to 10-day, 30-minute to show you that the momentum has shifted higher or lower. And I didn't mark here where the value high, value low is. I'm going to change these colors if I want to change them. I go in the setting, you can see it. In the appearance, you can see where the level, you see how I have here volume color. I can change that volume color to a little bit of a mustardy look so I don't have to see the, or you can make it gray, whatever color you want on the volume. If I want to make it gray, I can come in here, push this. I'm going to show you how it will look like. So at least you know where those levels are. If I zoom in here, you can see where the value high and the point of control are. You can see this is value high. This is the point of control. This is where most time spent in the last 24 hours on the chart and where my value low is on the chart. So you can mark them for daily basis. Are we trading inside the range, above the range, or below the range? Let me just go back in here. You can see we were consolidating. We fell down. The point of control was overlapping here a lot. We fell down, rallied up, and cleared. We're back inside that range. Are we going to push higher, or is there going to be volatility due to the earning reports, which we are almost done with in Middle East, or is there going to be ceasefire, no ceasefire, and so on in that chart? So this is how to look at the charts in an overall market. So if I go back here in the time frame, I go back to daily and I do 3-month. This is how the setup is. So basically, you know where your levels are, or you can do the annual. Let's go back in style from here, from monkey bars, go back to standard. In here, I want to show you a clear chart, how to do the measurements and everything. We're going to go in the studies. We're going to load a clean chart, pure, clean chart, nothing on it other than the Fibonacci's. So if I want to look at the measurements for the week, I can go 20 days or 30 days, 6 hour. What was my last week's high? This is the Friday. This is the low from Wednesday, and I go get the measurements for the instrument. I can do the Fibonacci to show you how to look like, how it looks like. We're going to do it backwards, high to low. This is my Fib. Okay, so we know where the extensions are. I do not have the top. You can see 100 to 161. You can have the 123, the 138, the 150, 161, 178, and so on, and vice versa. I'm going to show you how it looks like down here, but I did not extend the top except the extensions I only put. So you can do the same thing here between the 100 to 161, add the other ones in. So that's the measurements on those 5-day range. So if there's going to be a push up, I'm expecting that rounded bottom continuation. And if I end up falling, that is okay. That's how you measure the S&P 500. Let's take a look at the micro NQ. We'll do the same thing. And you can see in the micro NQ, I had put these two levels here, which I will keep in here. We're going to adjust it, activate it. Okay, you can see where I did it here. We're going to activate it to up here. And this one, since we did it last time, we're going to adjust it again, activate it. You can see where that level is. I'm going to show you, you can do this. You can do this. We can push one down in this area. And you can see where the machine basically gave you the linear regression and the breakout, but the NASDAQ fell back in. So if I want to go get one more channel from this point of control to this one here, I want to make sure that that linear regression channel is inside the other one to make the difference. I just make it this way so people know where it is, and I can do the same thing here from here to here so everyone can see the smaller linear regression channel in between if the momentum gonna shift on the NASDAQ. So we have the levels. We can do the measurements as well. This is my Friday's low. This is my Monday and Tuesday high to low. You can see it. And these are my extensions for the weekly on the NASDAQ 100 if there's going to be momentum shifting back down or the momentum shifting back up. So if I really want to check the up volume, down volume, I'm going to use the dollar sign UVol up volume minus the dollar sign down volume. And everybody going to tell me, why are you doing this? We're going to go in here. I'm going to show you how to read it. On the hourly, you can see these are candles. You can see the candles. We're going to make these, instead of candles, a line. You can see that. And what I want to do is go to a weekly chart to show you how this will look like on the chart. Every time we get to a bottom, we get overextended, we get a push up. Every time we get to the top, we get overextended at the high, we reset. You can see this happened in December 2025. This was 2024. This is the 2025. You can see the lows and highs, and this is the 2026 when we fell down in March, the rally up, and now we are on the reset. We are in the middle of the range. If there is more bottoming, we'll end up at the bottom. If there's more topping, we'll end up at the top. We were overextended. We sold off due to the uncertainty, earnings, chip, and so on. The most important thing is understanding risk when you're trading, and I hope this video is helping you to understand how to look at things. So last but not least, I'm going to go back to the QQQ. Okay, everyone, we're going to go back to QQQ, and I'm going to do the measurement. You can see this is just a line. We're going to go in the style. From line, you can use actually bar candles if you really wanted to use bars, and you can change the thickness of these bars. You can go in the style setting if you want to know where the open, high, low. In the appearance, you see how it's swung? You can push it higher so you can see the levels a little bit. The candle become thick. It'll show you where the low was. This is the open, this is the high, and this is the close of it. So you can get a better view of the candles where they opened and closed on the chart. So in the style setting, you can go back to candle. So I like candles myself. I like to see the cleanliness of them. From the weekly, I'm going to go to the daily. And I wanted to show here on the daily, I know we do have these gaps down here in this area, but I wanted to show here where we are in relationship to that downtrend channel. We're trying to push up. Pay attention if there's going to be momentum shifting back up, or we're going to find some resistance creating rounded bottom continuation or falling back down. Very important you trade what the charts offer you, not what you think. And last but not least, we're going to do the measurements. We're going to come in to it. I'll do it on an hourly even to show you how to do this. What I'll do, I look at the weekly from Sunday. This is Sunday through Friday. Where is my high for the week? Right here? Or is it right here? You can see 695.77. And this is the overnight, 695.89. So this is my high for the week. And this is my low for the week. And I'm going to measure it. I'll have the extensions to the upside, extensions to the downside, and where my midpoint is if we're going to hold in the NASDAQ. If there's going to be continuation to the downside, I'm going to look for this area. If there's going to be a rebound or continuation to the bottom, and if this 50 holds and we're going to break through the 80 through the 100, then I'm going to look for the extensions 123 to the 150 and eventually 161, or vice versa from that downtrend linear regression channel. I hope this video was helpful. If you have any questions, once again, get in contact with us at axelatrai.com. This is the number, or at solstice.com. axel, ATRAI.com. Take care, over and